So basically, since we first got our first RV, I could not wait to get a map of the country to put the stickers on. I am of the strong opinion that you're not a real RVer until you have the map with the stickers.
This is since we've only been to like Florida with our RV where we live.
Basically driving it home. I was like, we need the map.
Driving all the way home from Tampa. I'm like, we need a map now. Like, all right.
So we got the map while we were on our summer trip, but didn't get enough time to have it shipped to us. So it was shipped to our house when we got home, and now we're finally ready to put on our map.
Ready to do our map. So we're going to start. We're going to start with Florida.
Yeah, we have to start with Florida.
Might as well knock it out.
Our home state.
We've been to Florida a little bit.
A lot of it.
A lot of it.
I've only been a few times.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite places that we've camped in Florida so far?
Isn't it Rock Crusher the first
Rock
place?
Crusher.
Crystal River a lot.
Yeah, I like Rock Crusher. That's fun.
Rock
Hunsader
Crusher.
Farms.
Hunsader
That
Farms was
was
really
fun.
nice.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if that was in Florida.
We went
Everything's mixed up.
Hunsader Farms. We went when it was only like 2 weeks old or something like that.
Mhm. And River Ranch.
River Ranch was awesome.
Perfect. We might have to speed up that video with a... Oh, it's not perfect. I've already ruined Florida.
Got Georgia next up.
I think my favorite was Cloudland Canyon.
Yes. Yeah, Cloudland was
That
nice.
was really good.
I think my favorite thing about Georgia is that it's close, obviously,
Mhm.
but I also like that there's like so many different things. Like it's a
Yeah.
pretty... You don't think of it as like a really diverse state, but I think it
Because
really
I think
is,
too,
like, a lot to do.
when we initially said like, what do we like about Georgia? I'm thinking like the beginning of Georgia, but we also came through Georgia coming home,
Yeah.
and we did like Jekyll Island and
Oh, I forgot
Driftwood,
about that.
Deadwood Beach, and all that mess.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Thumbs up, Georgia, for having such
Yeah.
cool things to do.
Good job.
So where we finally left Georgia, for real,
Went into Tennessee.
Tennessee. And I don't think we can pick a favorite part of Tennessee because I know I had such an awesome time with our family.
Yeah.
But you also can't say anything negative about Great Smoky Mountains. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was really nice.
So Tennessee, both places we stayed, absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
2 thumbs up.
Virginia?
I guess, yeah, technically, yeah. After we
Virginia.
went to Tennessee, we hit Virginia, Withville.
Yes.
Good hike.
Bill.
That was a place we weren't really expecting to do anything, and then we found this
Yeah.
awesome hike. It was a butt kicker, but it was beautiful up top. That lookout, I like that.
It was also, on the way back, I really wanted to go to Shenandoah, and that exceeded all of our expectations. That was one of my favorite
Yeah.
places of the whole trip.
I might offend the entire world right now. I thought Shenandoah was a better park than Great Smoky Mountains. Just put that out there.
It was not crowded. So
No.
even though it's like similar
Yes.
like vistas and views, I almost think the views were better. And there was like nobody there.
I was gonna say, compared to
Mountains, which
Great
is
Smoky
amazing.
Mountains, like Shenandoah National Park was like a ghost town. With the trails. Then we saw more wildlife there too. Remember we were walking the trail and there was like a deer right in front of us?
Yeah.
Like literally like 4
Oh.
feet in front of us.
Yeah.
It was
He was
pretty
hanging
awesome.
out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He was our pal.
So Virginia, yeah, thumbs up Virginia.
We moved on to West Virginia to the lunatic asylum. What was your favorite part about that?
I didn't really have fun. It was all of it was just like super cool and
Yeah.
creepy.
What was your favorite part?
I still don't really know if my favorite part was the parts that had been like redone to look kind of like it was,
Yeah.
or like the parts that had like haven't been touched.
Like creepy?
I think the coolest part for me is when we did the criminally insane tour first and we learned, what's his name, Clarence?
Yeah,
Clarence.
Clarence.
They told us about the guy who, like, I guess he was like a former professional boxer and he was like huge. And if you watch the video, there's a scene where I show a metal door and like you can see dude's knuckles. Like that's what those dents are from Clarence like punching the.
I think
Next!
Gettysburg.
So Gettysburg, I don't think you can pick a favorite part. I think it was just like 3 or 4 days of just like complete shock and awe
Yeah.
and somber and respect. And
Tears rolling down my face.
I thought it was really interesting to be there with the current political climate. It feels like there's a lot of divide, and it was really kind of solemn and emotional to be in this place that was a turning point of the Civil War.
Yeah.
Then
Sorry.
on to
New York.
New York.
So this was interesting. 2 days before we went to New York is where they put the mandatory quarantine on anybody coming in from Florida. So we had New York. We ended up going to 4 different places in New York, like 2 heading up and then another heading back. Well, I guess 3 heading up and 1 coming back. But
Thank you for the dog. Just now's a good time to
it's a
eat
good-
dog food.
it's a good time to jump into that meal, Fred. Awesome.
He was laying on my feet, but now
Earlier, the owner was over here like, he's like Darth Vader breathing
Before
over
you were
here.
talking, I'm trying. He's like licking between my toes. I'm like dying. It's like this is fine.
He saw me standing back before because he just like wedged himself. There's like 8 inches in between me and the counter. And Fred's like, I can fit in there.
he's 80 pounds. He could not fit in there. Just for clarification.
All right, so yeah, New York was awesome. Watkins Glen,
Watkins
Niagara
Glen,
Falls,
Niagara Falls.
Moose Hillock,
Yep.
and
That was our first 3.
Yeah.
You're right. I was like 4 places.
yeah,
But yeah,
and
it
then
was
we
4
stopped
places.
in Newburgh on the way back because there was a tropical storm coming in Connecticut where we were supposed to go, and then we ended up going to Newburgh and it ended up going there instead. So
Yeah. So I will say most of the trip, every stop we had, we were all saying, I think this is my favorite part. And then in the next place we stopped, we were like, no, this is my
Yeah.
favorite part. But I think Niagara Falls, everyone had a moment where like, this is
Yeah.
really like the vacation of a lifetime. This is the coolest
Yeah.
thing.
it was when we were eating those pizza and wings.
That
I was like,
was
twice.
this was all worth it.
We haven't eaten out in months, but the pizza and wings.
And it was the 3 of your first time seeing a Great Lake,
Yeah.
like going up seeing Lake Ontario, and it's just water.
Our first Harvest Host.
First Harvest Host, Vermont. Probably that was July 4th. We stayed at a Harvest Host July 4th. Wanted to avoid crowds, fireworks with the dog, all that mess, and that ended up being amazing. Maple
Yeah.
Farm.
I think my favorite part of being in Vermont, although the hosts were fantastic
Yeah.
and everything about the farm was really neat, is that was like the quintessential camping day that made me that reminded me of why we love to do this.
Yeah.
We sat inside and sat outside and we played board games and we laughed and we went for long walks and we played with the dog, and it was just a really,
Ate delicious
Awesome.
maple ice cream.
we did eat maple ice cream.
So good.
Creamies?
maple
I think
creamies.
they call them
yeah.
creamy. Maple
Creamies?
creamies. Yeah.
I dug that.
I would definitely eat again.
I like them. Like, it was really special to me because it filled my heart with joy to spend time with my family. And you're like, plus,
Plus, there's ice cream.
Nice.
Let's not
There it
forget
is.
about it.
It was pretty good. It was good ice cream.
It was good ice cream.
Remember Freddie trying to get the goats?
Oh, yes. Fred's first introduction to goats.
Oh, he wanted to play so much.
So we've got like a bunch of stuff over here, but over here just looks so empty. We kind of have to go on another
I feel
trip.
like this was a good COVID trip, but I
Yeah.
do think that this white
Over-
space
over
needs to be
here.
addressed. Our logic behind our next stop wasn't that exciting. Joe had training, and so needed to be in a place with good internet.
Yeah, I had a 3-day education training that I had to attend, and it was all virtual because of COVID. So we were basically scouring the internet to find the campsite in New England with the best Wi-Fi. I think we found it. It was pretty good Wi-Fi.
Yeah. And also beautiful things in the White Mountains. So we had a great
Yeah,
time.
White Mountains were great. We still have the granite state, and that had that it almost looks like glitter, the soil, and
Oh.
we're still finding it. It's been weeks since we were in New Hampshire.
We swept at least 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Every single day we were in New Hampshire,
Mhm.
and it looked like
There was glitter
somebody
everywhere.
spilled glitter every single time.
We didn't make it to Maine because they had some travel restrictions still, and the places that we wanted to go to are like heavily populated, like very heavily trafficked areas. So we said we'll get there one day.
Actually, same thing in Massachusetts. We had a couple
Yeah.
stops planned in Massachusetts that we canceled.
Yeah, we
They
want
were
to go to
either
Salem.
Yeah,
and
they were
stuff.
either closed or too
Yeah.
crowded, so we said we would do it another time. Connecticut too. Actually, we booked
Yeah.
a night in Connecticut.
Yeah, we were going to stay at another Harvest Host, and it coincided. There was a tropical storm coming up through there. So another night in New York. Went back through Pennsylvania to Shenandoah. We've already hit Virginia.
So we hit all these states.
Hit all these
but
states. We're not
didn't
going to
stay.
count them. We didn't stay in any. I just drove through most of the East Coast. Then we went on to North Carolina. North Carolina was weird because I was stationed there when I was in the Marine Corps in the early 2000s, 02 to 07, and like that's where Lee and I were married, and we, began our family and everything. And it was really weird, like how like sentimental it was, like going through there. And plus, like both my parents live there, my brother lives there, so that was kind of a cool time towards like the end of the trip to kind of catch up with family and kind of relax a little bit.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was nice and relaxing. Plus, that was actually our second time in North Carolina because we went to Clingman's Dome.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm still like chilled to the bone after that experience.
Second to last stop.
Second to last stop was South Carolina. So we were heading to like the Jekyll Island, Georgia area, and we had just left like coastal Carolina. So we drove straight there. That was going to be a long one.
One day.
So we kind of picked a place in the middle-ish, and it's kind of like a meme at this point because when Lee and I would leave from Camp Lejeune, around where we lived, and go home to Florida for like vacations, whatever, we would always laugh at south of the border. If you've never driven down Interstate 95 south and at the Carolina border, there's this massive, it's a tourist trap. We don't have to dress it up. And I mean, it's like so over the top, like giant sombreros, and there's like,
but there's signs.
There's
like
signs for like 100 miles.
I saw one at like 180 miles or something.
Yeah, it's literally as soon as you go from like Virginia to North Carolina, you start seeing signs for south of the border, even though you're like hundreds of miles from the Carolina border at that 180 miles, whatever.
So I was very clear that it was like a cheesy tourist trap, but I'd never been
Yeah.
there, and I felt like it was really important to check it off of my travel bucket list, and it was not to be forgotten.
It was exactly what I expected, honestly. I will say though, the campground was
great.
immaculate. Campground was really nice. Sites were beautiful, full hookups. So if you're heading down 95 or up 95, I guess, the campground was really nice there. I guess the joke of it was that like Leah would be like, "Oh my gosh, we got to stop here," every time we would drive past it, and I was like, "No, we're not stopping here." So this time we finally stopped.
Finally
there.
stopped.
16 years later.
And the great news is I won't ask anymore. We got there right as the ice cream shop closed, and so it was the first time our kids have ever been given an entire pint and a spoon and told to go to
like
work.
Americans.
It's not the first time.
Okay, that's the first time that their mother has been aware.
I've never eaten an entire container in one go.
This looks like we went on this
That looks like
fucking
some
vacation
shit
of a
scene right now,
What?
man. Yeah, we gotta travel more, man.
Looks naked.
What do you think?
Praying it stays okay when we close the slide.
I think it was good. Well, I mean, I've seen tons of people with them over there. So,
And they're obviously real RVers.
real RVers, because they have a map.
All right.
Yeah, there it is. Official.
All right.
Let's go plan some more trips.